Well. GM. G to the M. Great morning, my friends. DJs, Diamond Hand fam, ladies and gentlemen, Forge and Fuel crew, not Ford, Forge and Fuel crew. Super soldiers, one percenters, pioneers, pivoters, pursuers, builders, brothers and sisters, hermanos y hermanas, mamas y papas, anyone I may have left out and anyone in between. Welcome back. And welcome into the best way to start your day. It's time to get fired up at Forge and Fuel. Baby. Woo! I am your humbled, honored, and clearly always hyped host, Colton Capp Swirl One, and I can't thank you enough for choosing to stop by, hang out with me and my guys, and dive down some motivational and inspirational rabbit holes unlike any other. Now, my friends, let me be the first to let you know that we got one hell of a show on tap for you here on this magnificent, nay, fabulous, nay, terrific, nay, tremendous, nay, tremendous Tuesday to be alive. It is February the 4th, 2025, and I hope you're ready to catch a vibe because we got more of those, more inspiration, more motivation, and more high-level conversation coming your way over the course of episode 661 than you're going to know what to do with, baby. But before we dive in, before we begin, before we tap into those aforementioned vibes, we must humbly ask you to do a few things before we get to the opposite side. If you can find it in that big old heart of yours to do so, to maybe do a few favors for us this morning. Maybe you could take a quick second to smash that subscribe button on whatever platform you are currently ingesting the Forge and Fuel podcast on. If you are watching on the YouTube, you might as well hit that notification bell right down there as well so you don't miss start of a live show or any additional content dropping here on the channel. If you're enjoying this morning's program, you might as well hit that like button located over around in that area right there one time for the one time too. That way you can help the algo get to going and flowing on the old tube of the U variety. But maybe the Rumble is your viewing platform of pleasure. Maybe you enjoy viewing some programs over there, and maybe this program is on right there right now. So if you're over there on the Rumble, maybe you could smash the subscribe button, maybe turn on a notification button, and maybe even smash a like button as well. But maybe you don't like either one of those platforms. Maybe X is your viewing platform of pleasure. And if that is the case, while you're sitting there laughing, maybe you could take a moment to smash that heart button, smash that repost button, and also crush that quote post button. Geez, pre-show vitamins, I'm struggling. That quote post button, let the people know on the X timeline why you're tuned in live in prime time to Forge and Fuel this morning. And last but certainly not least, if you are listening to this podcast on your favorite podcast directory, like Apple, Amazon, or maybe even Spotify, watching as well, maybe you could take a moment to smash that follow button, smash that subscribe button, give us a 5-star rating, or honestly just smash the shit out of whatever buttons you see on your screen, as it only helps us grow and flow on all those platforms as well. Nah, I mean...
Yeah, buddy.
Shout out to all you beautiful human beings tapped in, tuned in, locked in, live in prime time that have already smashed the shit out of those buttons, that have helped the algo go and flow one time for the
Thank you very much. That's really nice. Thank you.
But maybe you don't have your hammer this morning. Maybe you don't feel like smashing no buttons this morning. Maybe you're saying, what in the world do I need to do that for, Cap? You're the guy with the content. This is the show that I tune into. Why do I need to do things for said show?
Don't be rude.
That's 47. And once 45 just said, don't be rude. And you know, maybe the show makes you laugh. Maybe this show makes you cry. Maybe this show makes you think. Maybe this show gives you some perspective and some insights that you ain't never heard before. And you say, oh, that smacked me square in the soul. And if so, don't be a hoe, share the show, be a friend, tell a friend, let somebody know, and we will proceed with this morning's program. My friends, you've heard we, you've heard us, you've heard boys a few times, and you've also heard some signs. You've heard some glass breaking, you've heard some notification bells, you've heard some different things going on. So number one, that must mean Mr. Producer, Derek Deasy Snow, D-double-E-Z-double-Y, the lightweight slanging, iron pumping, bowling ball bench pressing legend is in the building. What's going on?
Baby!
Shout out D-double-E-Z-double-Y. Always great to have you producing the show, my guy. I actually had a conversation about you with some other humming beings yesterday, and let's just say they were a little excited, baby. Who's to say? Who's to know? Shout out, D's. We love you, guy. Appreciate all your hard work, man. The show wouldn't be half of what it is without you. And speaking of half, I am only one half of the presence, or presences, presence-I, that grace on your screen every single morning. See, yesterday morning, it was only me. And sometimes as it is, as this other man sometimes is wrapped up in the plans, sometimes the moving plans, sometimes the travel plans, sometimes the completing a mission in a foreign land plans. But right here this morning, he's tapped in, back for a little Forge and Fuel plans. So, my friends, without further ado, please welcome back to Forge and Fuel, episode 661. The man joining us now, who is the founder of the Grandpa Ape Country Club, the lead pro on the GACC Greens, if you will, the co-host of this fine morning program, the host of TGIF and Monday Madness GAC Spaces. He is a professional DJ with a wide-ranging musical catalog. Probably finally has his home HQ finally set up with that sound just bouncing off of those walls. Just sounded so damn good up in that place. And you better get ready once he plugs back in, because he's going to get real hot. He might even melt your face, and you might say, doggone, my old iPod Nano can't even do this. Is he an iPod One?
What?
My friend's a purveyor of positive vibes.
What?
A curator of high-level energies.
What?
A certified PLP pusher.
What?
A man who shines so damn bright, they don't know what time of day it is when they come around.
What?
The jet plane flying.
What?
McLaren driving.
What?
Integra pushing.
What?
Jet plane flying.
What?
Rolex rocking.
What?
Jesus Peace dangling.
What?
Limousine riding.
What?
The man, the myth, the legend, with more copious amounts of vitamins in his cabinet than I've ever seen in one single day of college.
What?
Who's to say, who's to know? The man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, with an emphasis on the one.
What?
He's over there in that corner, weighing in as the heavy hitter, Mr. Turned Up himself, DJ Swirl One. Great morning, Swirl One. Welcome back to the program. How
you had to add the pushing in there. I see how you are.
Yeah, you know. Hey, and I didn't want to, get all the way there, so I just.
Man, I tell you what, it's been a hell of a week. And you said it's set up. We're right here. Yeah. Yesterday, I worked all day. I said I'm gonna work till 8:30. Let me tell you something. Ooh, I'm sore. I mean, back, legs, shoulders, all of it. I can't. I'm like, yo.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, all of
it, bro.
Hips, heels, and ankles and elbows. Head, shoulders, knees and toes.
Man, sore. So sore that I could barely crawl out of bed today. The I don't want us were absolutely on a 50 today. So here we are. And I'm making the best use of my dining room table because I really don't have any other place to go right now. So we'll figure it out. Hey, but I showed up. Not only that, I got me a Fiji. Oh, and I've already put one down. So there's that. So, hey, if you haven't gotten your water yet, what are you waiting on? Here, this too.
Oh, there we go. Ha! Good morning, Vietnam! And if I so vaguely notice over there, Swirl One, that looks like a new bay window back there.
Oh, yeah. And there's Buddy hanging out.
Oh, just vibing.
Woo! Yeah. See, we are 100% doing it right now. And I'm excited. I'm hoping by the end of today, maybe 75% done. I'm hoping. If not more, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I was working my ass off yesterday. But you know what you can do for me? That would just take 2 seconds. And you can get 100% done with this. Use this here. Right. Go right here. Little DM, little text, little link sharing opportunity for you right now. You can send it out to somebody and say, hey, I'd love it for you guys to tap into these guys. They're awesome. They might. Oh, look, he had to take his earphones out. Hey, don't be pulling a Kamala over here trying to have a conversation with the end of it on there, bro. You know what I'm just saying? Like, come on, man. Yes. I love this show. Hope you guys are doing great. Shout out to Albright's Fur Farm. Yes, it's a beautiful view. There's some geese out there somewhere. I don't know. I haven't looked at them lately, but hey, I'm excited. My coffee's good. I'm ready to rock. Shout out to DZ. Let's have a great morning.
Shout out Swirl One. Good to have you back, man. Who's to say, who's to know? Yeah, I was pulling a little Kamala over there. And, I am also Delighted to say that I had one hell of a day yesterday. I put in a bunch of work for the Diamond Hand Media Group, checked some things off, got some things to 100% completion that we've been talking about for a few days, had some conversations, and through some of my research, Swirl One, it's not the 100,000 that I wrote down, but something may or may not be happening on the 5th that might just help us keep going forward just a little bit more. Help me just keep pushing this motherfucker down the tracks without so much tightness around the neck. Who's to say, who's to know? And that's because of you that support this show and are in the gateway and are full-time members of everything we're doing. So thank you all for everyone who supports this and those of you who buy in for the year, because you don't realize how much you do for me and you do for this company. And I promise you the best is yet to come. I told DZ last night, boy, if I can't do XYZ in 60 days, I'm a retard. I'll tell you what, I'm going to figure it out. I promise you. So just to follow up, Swirl One thing, things are going real well on this side.
I love to hear it. That's the right thing to hear this morning. I'm excited about it, buddy.
Who's to say, who's to know? So we'll follow up with that a little more post show. But here we all are in the beginning of the show, ready to rock and roll, ready to catch a vibe, and ready to start the only way we know how. See, we don't like to get right on into it and get all buttoned up and all fancy and use big words and give you all this motivation and inspiration that you are just barely trying to open up your eyes and, oh, come on, Cap, hold on, I'm trying to, where's my notebook? Oh. So we like to help you start off a little slow, get you going, get the blood flowing, let you know what type of vibes are going to be coming your way today. Now, we begin a very specific way by chuckling, baby, by having a little laugh, a regular old knee slapper, one time for the one time. And this morning's theme, if you will, as we have two vidges to watch, is a theme of father and son pranks, father and son nonsense is what it is. Saw this video a couple days ago. Actually, the first video was sent by the one and only DWEZYY. And then I just happened to find this other video last night, and I said, well, boy, those are both father and son. That's a great theme. I think those are both hilarious. So let's bring them to the show. So number one was actually a video I referenced yesterday, Swirl One. And I didn't play it because I wanted to make sure you were here to have a live reaction live in prime time. Because we are getting to that point in life where gentlemen my age are now starting to have sons and maybe just a little bit older, and they're starting to get even maybe they had them before. Now they're starting to be this age and their sons are even a little older now. And now they're going on road trips together and they enjoy music and they listen to music together. And one day the son looks at the father and says, hey, Pop, can I play some old school rap? Pop says, boy, oh boy, finally my son gets it. All right. And sometimes the rest just writes itself. So my friends, this morning, video number one is just a little old school rap.
Road trip, baby!
Yes, sir.
Can I pick the music?
Yeah, that's fine.
I feel like bumping some old school.
That's right. Keeping it G. I'm raising you right, huh?
Here we go.
What's this?
Teach me how to Dougie.
No, I know what it is, but why are you playing it? You said old school.
You're right, my bad.
Cool. What's this?
You're a jerk.
No, you're a jerk, because you said old school. This isn't old school. This was when I was in school. Cuidado, man.
Alright, I got you.
Thank you. Nate, this isn't old school, dude. I mean, like, old school rap. Some gangster stuff. Some click, click, bow stuff. You know, I'm talking Ice Cube, Mac 10. You know, that Eazy-E, D.R.E., SNOOP. I'd rather give you my
Dad.
sugar-free.
Well, why didn't you just say that? Hey, Siri, play rap music from the 1900s.
Wow. Oh my God. My heart, my soul.
Oh, I'm coming, Elizabeth. That was the big one.
I'm gonna get there.
Oh,
Why?
play rap music from the 1900s? Oh,
Bruh.
That hurts. That hurts real bad right there. And you know, I know that's our genre. And I mean, for crying out loud, what are we talking about? You're a jerk? What? Come on. Come on. That was when I was in school. That was the shit when we were going to high school dances and middle school dances and shit. Are you kidding me? And Soldier Boy and all that bubble wrap shit.
You just hurt my pride, bro. You completely hurt me right there. I thought we were supposed to laugh. I feel so bad right now,
man. And that's, you know,
hundreds.
Yeah, I know. And the more I watched that, I was like, okay, well, maybe that isn't as funny as I thought. Maybe that'll make some people feel really old. So maybe I should try and find one that's kind of funnier. So as I was thinking that, I thought, by the grace of God, this other one just slid across my timeline. So there's old school rap. Now, here is another father and son duo. And this time, we're going out to the frozen tundra. And this duo is doing a little ice fishing. And we're just going to be a fly on the wall and see what's going on out there on the ice. So, Deez, hit us with that father and son there, number 2.
Don't do that again. I'm old now.
A few moments later.
I was like, you were like, I was like this, and then you were like.
play that again, Deez. That's so good.
Don't do that again. I'm old now.
A few moments later.
I was like, you were like, I was like this, and then you were like.
He's dead.
Bruh.
Thought you were smart, huh?
Surprise,
Dang it,
motherfucker.
punk. I started this prank shit. This motherfucking thanks I get.
You think you know the game, son? Okay, all right,
Oh,
little motherfucker. Oh shit. Who's to know? That was just some gold right there. And just the slow motion triple shot replay of him just slapping that chick. Oh, and his little toothless laugh. Fucking, that's just the best.
He was funny, and that's a good laugh. That kid's gonna have a good life. Big, he's gonna be good.
His little toothless laugh. That was some good stuff right there. Oh boy. All right, friends. There are your morning laughs or morning thoughts, or maybe a morning depression and a morning laugh. Who's to say, who's to know? Maybe we took you way low and brought you way back up high. I don't know how we're feeling right now, but I'm feeling good. That one opened up a world. Thanks, LMAO. My kids just did that to us a few days ago. Before you know, they're gonna be running around the house pantsing you and gonna be like the Home Alone, for crying out loud. Gonna have shit all over, buckets on top of the door frames and fire extinguisher. Hey, good luck with those. You're about to reach some terrible teen years.
Oh, they got all the pranks on the socials now. They'll find all the good stuff.
Ooh. Hey, blessings to the metal crazies. It is about to get a little crazy up in that house. Who's to say, who's to know, as if it's already not. Shout out to all you beautiful human beings tuned into the show live in prime time. We're well underway. As a reminder, if you got any questions for the show, if you want some additional perspective, if you want to be more lengthy in your responses or your questions or whatever your perspective is, you can always send them to the email of the show to askfnf@thedhmgroup.io. That is ASKF, the letter NF, at thedhmgroup.io, right below me right there. Or as always, you can slide them right there in the live chat if you're tuned in live in prime time. So over the course of the next hour or so, if you got some thoughts, some perspective, some knowledge, and maybe even a question, maybe something additional you want us to touch on, feel free to drop it over there in the live chat, and we will touch on it on the third and final segment of the day, Answers from the Anvil, baby. But speaking of segments, it appears to me, and I would hope thee, that it is officially time, friends and family, to get this proverbial show train steaming on down the tracks and head on towards Perspective Station. As we gain a little knowledge, we refine that mindset. We get those battle weapons sharpened once again that may be a little dull from the daily battle of yesterday. So if so, know that you're not alone. Unsheath those dull blades and put them down on the file and get them ready to get nice and sharp. And after this segment, they'll be ready to go back out there and slay and fillet this entire day as we get into your sharpening session. Alrighty then, my friends. Here we are back live in prime time on episode 661 of Forge and Fuel on this terrific Tuesday morning, February the 4th, 2025. And I hope you're ready to really come alive because it's time for the first segment of the day. And maybe you didn't check the title of the show. Maybe you didn't see the thumbnail, so you won't know. But let me be the first to get you in the know that this morning, our opening topic of the day is break glass in case of emergency. Break glass in case of emergency. That's right, my friends. And you know, this morning, we're going to start it off a little bit differently. See, I'm going to yield back, and we're going to do something we ain't done in a while. Old DJ Swirl One's going to kick us off this morning. See, because we went to brunch on Sunday afternoon, and this guy just had a look in his eye. Just had this doggone look in his eye. I couldn't quite figure it out. And then all of a sudden, Motion looks over at me and he slaps me on the shoulder. He goes, "Hey, you hear about the car?" I said, "Huh? What you talk about, Willis?" Swirl, all of a sudden, he turns from this bright, beaming, shining, humming being and kind of sulks his shoulders a little. And then he shines back up again and he says, "Wait a minute, let me tell you. Hold on. I was going to save that for the doggone show and bring it in whenever, all of a sudden. But maybe it could be a whole topic." And he starts going down this whole rabbit hole. And all of a sudden we figure, wow, this might be a hell of a topic for the show. Something we might be able to conversate and debate about. Who's to say, who's to know. So without further ado, I'm going to yield back and let DJ Swirl One give you a little story about breaking glass in case of emergency. What you got for us today, Swirl One?
Well, you know, we talk about lists and all these different things. I have a list. See this list right here? This is all the things I had to do. Notice there's a few things I didn't check off, but they're done. Like, I got it all done. However, you know, it's one of those things like Elon says to you all the time. Hey, if you give yourself 2 hours to clean your house, it'll take 2 hours. If you give yourself 2 months, it'll take 2 months. Well, I only had a certain amount of time to get certain things done. And boy, oh boy, was I cooking. I was doing it. I was boxing. I was moving. I was a grooving. I had my Apple Watch going 20,000 steps a day. We was making it happen, right? And then Friday came. I was really excited because Friday, as I told you guys, that's why we didn't have a gag space. We didn't do all those kind of things because I had to move everything by myself that day that, you know, they wouldn't let me take, you know, like vitamins, maybe, you know, adult beverages, you know, maybe freedom seeds, things like that, right? You had to take those. I have to take those myself. Oh, for whatever reason, they wouldn't take my Peloton either. And of course, you know, me being a gearhead, I have cars. So some cars can drive their way all the way there. Some cars need just a little help to get themselves over to Chicago. So, you know, I've always been a car head, gearhead. And one of the things that I have is I have this really nice little Integra that I've had forever. And it has shaved handles. One of the coolest little cars. Period. Correct. You know, back in the day when Fast and Furious came out, I was one of those people. Let me tell you what, when I left that movie theater, banging gears, but it probably sounded like back then because, we had the different cans on the back. And anyway, the car is far from that now. Well, I was pretty excited about it, waiting on Motion because Motion was, I'm not going to say dilly-dallying, but I was way ahead of schedule on this day because you already know the number one thing about everyone's life, you have one asset that's the most precious thing possible. That's your time. So I wanted to make the best use of not only my time, but Motion's time because Motion was going to be taking this trip with me up to the Chi-Town. So, you know me, I get up early. I get going. I am a super soldier. I've got everything going. Put up the U-Haul. I fought that Peloton all the way down them stairs. Dish, 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 dish. And then I rolled it all the way over there and put it up in that U-Haul. The only thing left, my friends, was the car. So I'm calling Motion. I'm like, hey, what's going on, Motion? Oh, Mom, I'm coming. I'm like, hey, wasn't trying to tell him, hey, I've got everything done. We're just waiting on you. But then he shows up. And he shows up, and I'm so excited. I'm like, hey, let's enjoy some vitamins before we get this here car going, which was the first mistake. And I know it was a mistake, but follow me. So we end up taking a little time, start to move this here car around. I get it out of the garage, right? So excited. Here's the thing about it. In order to get in this car, because we have no handles and it hasn't run in a minute, I have to go through the trunk. So I get the key and the trunk hatch opens up. And then you see me literally spidering in, going through that, opening the door, then sliding out the door. Boom, here I am. Okay. So all of a sudden, I'm excited, but it's one of them little handshakers. So I put it in a little neutral right there, put that e-brake down, turn that wheel after I turn that ignition on. So if the wheel will turn, the wheel turns, I push this little sucker out. I'm like, all right, it's out of the garage. I'm so excited. Let's go. Come on. I hop out of that thing, close the door. Ah! No. Did I just close the door?
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Ah! Screaming at the top of my lungs. People that are painting the house are like, what happened? What happened? What happened? I'm like, I just locked the keys in my car. I'm just like, ah! I don't know what to do. Now I'm sitting there and I'm looking at Motion. He's looking at me. I'm looking at him. He's like, it's okay, dog. It's okay, dog. I'm like, you don't understand. It's not okay. This is not okay. A locksmith's going to have a hell of a time getting in this car with no power and no door handles on the outside. And I'm sitting there thinking, holy shit. So the first thing I think to myself, like, what am I going to do? I have an extra spare keys. Where are they? Oh! They're in the truck on the way to Chicago. Okay. Let's call this locksmith. Let's call this locksmith. Let's see. So I go in there and it says emergency service, 15 minutes. Call him. Hey, how you doing? Can I take your name? Yeah, it says. Where are you at? I'm right here. We'll have somebody call you back in 15 minutes. What? 15 minutes? How much does this cost? Well, it's going to at least be $65 to get him out there. And then it depends on the job. They'll give you an estimate when they call you 15 minutes. I'm like, I look in Motion. I look back. I said, who's got a hammer? He says, what? I said, I need a hammer. He goes, what do you mean? I was like, hold on. How much is a new passenger side window? Motion. It's $100. $100. Yeah. Do you think that locksmith will cost $100? I bet you that locksmith will cost $100. She said $65 plus, and the car's not started. And she's gonna. I said, you know what? I need a hammer. Guys, you got a hammer? Yeah, I got a hammer. Just come back. And you know what? Bah! Put my hand in there. Open that thing up. Get the key out. Make sure I open the door. Close that back up. Start pushing the car. Get it on the thing. Finally got it up there. The phone rings. Hey, yeah, this is emergency locksmith. Hey, man, don't worry about it. I already broke the window. I'm inside the house. I'm inside the car. Don't worry about it. Thanks, man. What? We're good. Hang up. Moral of the story. Your time is your most precious asset. People will sit there all day long and debate whether or not to make a decision, debate whether or not to call the right person, or they'll call them, they'll wait an hour for someone to show up when they're really trying to get 4 or 5 hours down the road, or 2 or 3 days, or 2 or 3 steps down the road. And you know what happens to them? They get caught up in all the minutia of the decision making and how we're going to do this, and it's going to cost so much. And when they get there, they end up paying twice as much to get the same job done, and they've expended 2 or 3 hours of their most precious asset. By the time that guy called, I had this vehicle on the trailer, ready to rock, ready to go. You know how much I already called to see what it was done? It's going to cost me $150 to have somebody come to my house and fix that little mistake I made there. So that way I could get to Chi-Town before the night, before the snow came, before the ice came, before other things could have had me on the side of the road. I was able to get that going. We talk about being break glass in case of emergency type people. Will you make the decision when the time comes to save your time, save somebody else's life? Hell, every time there's a dog inside a car, everybody thinks about, what am I going to do? Sometimes just break the glass, right? That dog's suffocating. You got to do something about it. That's the thing about it. People wonder, man, is this the right thing to do? Well, if you weigh your options properly and you look and you realize that, hey, what's an hour of my time worth? Is it worth $100? Well, I don't know. What are you doing? Are you watching your kid make its first steps? What would you pay for that moment? Think about it now. If you had to go back, what would you pay to get that moment back? Are you sitting there with Grammy P on a weekend enjoying a prayer? I mean, what would you pay for that moment later in time, right? Think about the things that you could be doing with your time instead of worrying about somebody else trying to work with you and spend their time to cost you money and resources so that way they can take up your time. Sometimes it just takes a hammer to break that glass and get yourself on the way.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. It's a little different sitting on this side of things. I got a fucking whole page of notes already, dude. I'm already rocking and rolling over here. You're chipping my triggers left, right, and center. And I've already heard the story one time. And, you know, right there, what you said at the end, I double starred that, and it was going to be the first thing I talked about, is being a break glass in case of emergency motherfucker. I've said that all the time, over and over again, since we started this thing. And that's what a super soldier is. And how do you become that? What is that, right? A super soldier is standing behind a glass like a fire extinguisher, right? And it's locked down, can't get into it, just like that fire extinguisher, right? And when all hell breaks loose, when the fire happens, when it erupts, the building starts to implode, all the fire alarms are going off, where do they run? They run for the fire extinguisher, break glass in case of emergency, they rip it out, and they start to put out the fire. That's the type of people we're trying to build around here. The people that when the fire enrages, they can come to center. That when the storm is all over the place, they can be the calm within it. Those are the type of people we're trying to build. And it comes not off of sitting around waiting for something to happen. It comes by taking action. It comes by just doing the next right thing, whether that's a habit, whether that's a goal, whatever it is. But like we talked about yesterday, don't get stuck in the habits. You can journal. You can cold plunge. You can hit the gym for 2 hours. You can go to the sauna after. You can read 30 minutes afterwards. You can do all this shit and still be a loser. Putting trophies in the trophy case is what makes you a winner. Breaking that glass when you gotta break the glass is what makes you a winner. Matter of fact, maybe not even breaking the glass makes you a winner. It just gives you the opportunity to be a winner. And most people got the hammer in their hand, the glass right in front of them. They know they got to smash the pane, and they say, somebody else want to come do this? Hey, anybody else want to take this hammer? Somebody break this for me? I don't think I want to. And they just sit around and wait. And worse yet, they sit around and pray. And they just ask for favors and ask, and they wonder why nothing ever changes. Well, God's sending you a boat. He's sending you a cruise liner. He's sending you a helicopter as you're drowning on the corner of your roof in a flood, and you keep passing them off saying God's going to come save me. You got to take action at the end of the day too. And that's what this all boils down to. Because if you don't take action, I love what you said, Swirl, then it's a high cost. And maybe it's not just a high cost of your money, it's a high cost of your time, because you're sitting around thinking, having analysis paralysis, and then you get further down the path and you realize you spent more money, or you went way out of your way when you didn't need to, or you wasted this time, or whatever it was. And you get to the end of the goal, you're like, holy shit, that cost me so much more than it needed to at the end of the day. I could have been a lot more efficient with my time, a lot more efficient with my resources. So maybe instead of trying to make the plan perfect, just go through the plan. You got the plan hammered out. You know everything about it. It's like salespeople, right? They want to have every little thing known about their product, and every little possible thing, and every little rebuttal handled, and everything ready to go. Here we go. All right. And then they get into the sales call or into the meeting, and then that person has none of the problems that they initially thought they would. Their product, the solutions that they brought to the meeting, none of those solutions even fit for the reasons why this potential buyer would even buy said product. So now they're scrambling around trying to figure out, if you just went into the moment, into the sales call, knowing I know everything about this product, I believe in the product, I believe in the service, then you can just have a conversation and sell yourself. And it's the same thing with life. I believe in me. I believe in my product. I believe what I can do. I'm just going to go take action. And man, yeah, so many other good things, Swirl One, but I love what you talked about there towards the end as well. Just what would you pay to have some of these moments? And I thought about GP's prayer during the Diamond Hand Media Group bi-weekly networking meetings. And that is just so special to me. I've been hearing that prayer since I was 6-7 years old on Tuesdays, going to Kiwanian Club meetings with GP. And then she brought the prayer to some of the spaces the ladies were doing. And then she just made it the entire Diamond Hand prayer. Diamond Hand prayer. And she kind of adjusted a little bit. She changed some of the words, did some different things. And, you know, just to be in that moment, push your toes in the ground and hear that every single time. And there were some new people at the meeting that heard that. And I think it made them realize just how true of a family we are, how much energy and vibe and passion and purpose we have into this entire thing. And, you know, we talked about some things, and even to see some people already following up with it on the timeline, it's just awesome to see that there are really people out there that are taking action, that aren't just sitting around waiting for something to happen, waiting for somebody to give them a handout. There are people out there that are taking leaps of faith, are coming to the water's edge, and are not being forced to drink. They're just choosing to dive in and see how the water is. So if you feel like maybe you're not a break glass in case of emergency motherfucker, maybe this doesn't resonate with you, maybe it's time to become a full-time member of the Diamond Hand fam. Maybe it's time to really start understanding what we're doing here, and the purpose and the reason and the vision and everything in between, and start achieving the things that you are set out after. Because it's easy to get stuck in analysis paralysis. But when you got people pushing you, you got people giving you fresh ideas, you got people at the 30,000 foot view, or maybe at the control tower while you're in the cockpit just trying to fly the fucking plane and get through the turbulence, and holy shit, we're looking at you through the control tower saying, hey, it's all good up there. Everything's good, baby. Just keep climbing and rising and flying. You'll get to that destination eventually. Who's to say, who's to know? But that's some of my thoughts on breaking glass in case of emergency. What do you think?
It's interesting because a lot of people are like, man, that was pretty aggressive, Swirl. And I'm like, is it though? Because if I think about this, it took that guy 20 minutes to call me back. And do you think he was 2 minutes down the road when he called me back? Oh, no. He was probably 25, 30 minutes down the road. So think about that. 20 minutes I would have waited for this analysis paralysis, and then 25, 30 minutes for him to show up so that he can do analysis by paralysis to figure out how to get in the car, just so he can sit there for the next 20, 30 minutes and get into the car. Buddy, we're an hour and a half down the road by the time that happened. I remember looking over at Motion. He's like, look, we're already way in Illinois by this time. We looked down. An hour later, we were burning gas, and killing bugs like nobody's business. We were doing it. And here's the thing. It was getting later at night. We were going to be driving in the dark. The last thing we needed to do was be driving a big ass U-Haul through freezing conditions with a car on the back of it at 4 or 5 hours. That's recipe to end up in a ditch. And then you think, oh my gosh, it was only 15 minutes. It was only 45 minutes. It was only an hour that I had to wait. That hour meant the entire difference of you leaving at the right time and you getting there at all sometimes. And that's what people don't think. They'll sit there and be like, man, that's pretty aggressive. I don't know if I could do that. You know what? Sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures. And sometimes you got to break the damn glass. It's just what you got to do. And yes, I could have sat there. And yes, we had the time. But I knew I had somebody else with me. The time was important. The journey was just getting started. And I was already thinking 5 hours down the road. So when I'm thinking, like he said, from the press box view, and I'm seeing the view as a whole, the more I think of it, I'm like, you know what? Some things in life are expendable and some things are renewable. And in a life of abundance, I can't be stressed out about $100. If I'm worried about $100, everything I'm doing is wrong. Let me just tell you right now, I don't need to be worried about that. Okay, is it worth the time? Is it worth my energy? You know what? If I do this right now, how bad is it going to hurt my future? Wait, it's not going to hurt. I spend that on a brunch. Guess what? Kaplow, baby, we're gone. And that's what happened. And I'll tell you, a lot of people will look at me and, gosh, that was pretty aggressive, Swirl. But you know what? I live life aggressive. I live it like I have no other shot in this opportunity, no other chance. I'm not waking up again tomorrow. You know, Moshe was saying it right here in the kitchen the other day. We only get one shot at this life. Why are you going to sit there on your couch and eat bonbons and pay attention to what the scheduled programming is doing when you only get one shot to make the best life you possibly can? Sometimes the glass don't matter, bro. You just got to break that son of a bitch. It's not going to end. At the end of the day, none of that's going to change how things are going. As a matter of fact, it's a great story to talk about. It's another way you could say you overcome. And you know, 90% of the people out there would never do what you did. And that's why you're in this show. And that's why you're part of the Diamond Ham fam. And that's what a 1%er is.
My mama's only son, but I live every day like it's my motherfucking last one. Who's a no? Shout out to UGK. Man, that's aggressive. Oh, that's too aggressive. You're so aggressive. Man, if you want to be successful, that's the type of aggression you got to live with. That's the type of attack mentality you got to live with. It's the obsession we talk about all the time, and it just transfers over to every little area of your life. And in all honesty, Swirl One, in 10 years, 2 years, is that broken window even going to matter? Are you even going to be thinking about that broken window? Or are you probably going to be whipping around that Integra, happy that you kept it for all these years and it's up back rocking and rolling again? Oh, shit, I had to pay an extra $100 to make that thing happen. Oh, no. I was going to have to pay $150 just to get back in the bitch. Oh, no, I saved $50 at the end of the day, right? That's a good spending of money. Now, going to Ross Dress for Less when they tell you they have a buy one, get one 50% off sale. Hey, dipshit, you're still going in and spending your money. And then, oh, you get 50%. I got 50% off. You still had to buy one for full price. Buy one, get one. It's a BOGO affair. You're still going in and spending your money. That's not an efficient use of your time or your money. And so many people just do that shit, even on a small scale. Spend $20 to have your Netflix account and then just sit there all fucking Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. What? 12 days, 3 times 4, 12 days, every single month that you just completely put an X through on the calendar. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, goodbye. See you later. It's the weekend. Cheers to the freaking weekend. I'm not doing nothing else. Huh? Okay. Wow. It's a lot easier than I thought to become a break glass in case of emergency motherfucker these days. Because while everybody's sleeping around on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it don't take much. You can still game. You can still watch UFC. You can still do all that stuff and have your laptop pulled open, do a little bit of work, writing some notes, making some moves, following up on some calls, making some little things happen. Tell you what, there ain't many other people following up with businesses or connections on Saturday. So maybe if you're the one that reaches out, they might just say, hey, what's up with this guy? Why is he reaching out on a Saturday or on a Sunday? Hey, I know you're busy. I usually work on Sundays. I know this is Sabbath, trying to keep it holy. Take 5 minutes of your time. Whoa, yeah, what's up, Colt? Hey, man, all right, so this is what I was thinking, right? A life of abundance, right, Swirl? Except when it costs you $100 for 2 drinks, who's to say, who's to know? Then you got to kind of fumble around with your fingers for a little while and then say, hey, you know what? Life of abundance. Fuck it. Who's to say, who's to know? But
I was willing to let it go. I was. I'm glad it came back. But at that point, I was like, well, I guess that's what it costs.
But man, it just all that encompassing, they don't care as much as you do, right? No one will care as much as you do, whatever you're working on, whether it's a car, and that's the thing, right? What I was talking about yesterday, you can be a 9 to 5 person. Every night when you get off from 6 to 10, you work on a car. You have a car and it's your goal to restore this fucking car, and it turns into the most beautiful thing after a year. And then all of a sudden you realize the talent that you have, and maybe you can start restoring cars. Maybe you can start doing something as a side hobby. Maybe people start paying you to do it for them. And then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, you got a business on your hands. Well, I can't be an entrepreneur. Well, hey, slide with the Diamond Ham fam. It'll take you 5 minutes to get an LLC set up. We'll get all your bank accounts rocking and rolling. If you want a little insurance, we got you on the side with a couple straight connects right here. 50 states can underwrite right now. No problem. We're set ready to rock and roll. Oh, wait, you have that in the Diamond Ham fam? Yes, you better believe it. You show up and you'll have a business by the time this day's over. We ain't even going to have to get to Wednesday and you're already going to have a business ready to rock and roll. But those people won't care as much as you do, man. And it's just your baby. And sometimes you're going to have to break glass in case of emergency. Sometimes you're going to have to make the moves. And then everybody's going to say, oh, I see why you did that. All right, I'm still in. I got it. All right, I get it. And you just keep pushing forward. Who's to say, who's to know? Good things on the horizon for the Diamond Ham fam. I'll say that.
Buddy, I can't tell you enough. I appreciate the opportunity to lead the topic today. And hopefully you got something out of it. It was definitely a fun time for me. It's a great conversation. And I don't think a lot of people make decisions when they think about, hey, what's got to happen? How can I make it better? And sometimes it is an aggressive move, but you're the one that's got to make it.
Damn straight. Maybe it's not an aggressive move. Maybe it's a sexy move. Swirl.
Oh, gee.
Shout out Albright's full fur farm, huh? Cap sees all. I'm always watching.
That's hilarious.
Hey, I like that. Aggressive? I mean, sexy. I like that. How you walk in feeling sexy. Oh, hey.
It's like, you know what? Swirl's not a guy that sits there and worries about what's going to happen. He just does shit. Bah!
What the fuck we worried about? Well, they ain't going to take my birthday. They can't fuck it. They ain't going to be buried with me at the end of the day. There's no 2-bedroom caskets. The fuck am I worried about? Who's to say, who's to know? What a sharpening session, my friends. There you go. First segment of this fine morning show. Episode 661 is well underway. We're 52 minutes after the top of the hour, 8 until the next hour. And we've damn near, I'd say, had a full day before 10 o'clock. No, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Baby. So if you tuned in since the beginning, you're already set ready to rock and roll. You're good to go, but maybe you're just tuning in right now. Maybe you're saying, whoa. You're done for the day? What's going on? Hold on. Oh, I need vibes. Whoa, what's happening? Don't worry, my friends. That's why we have multiple segments. Give you guys over there on the specific side of things a little bit extra time to wake up and knock the sleep out of your eyes and join us live in prime time. Well, my friends, the first segment of the day is done and dusted. So it's time to get into segment number 2, where we pop up some clips on the screen and bring our perspective on said clips directly to you. So, my friends, get yourself a fresh sheet of notebook paper. Maybe fill up that Java. Get yourself a fresh cup or bottle of a water. And let's slide into the second segment of the day. It's time for your Reaction Refinery. Okie dokie artichokes. Here we are back live in prime time on episode 661 for your second segment of the day, your Reaction Refinery. It is February the 4th, 2025, and I hope you're ready to continue coming alive because we got some banger clips coming your way today. Not like we don't every single day, but these ones are pretty fire flame heat. And this morning, we begin not with a young man, not with a young lady, but rather one of them old reels where there's some pictures on your screen and some words that flash across and maybe more of a somber smack you in the soul type of feeling to begin things here today. It's going to get them gears turning, going to get them juices flowing. As we get into clip number 1, that is your reminder of the day.
You rise, you make mistakes, you live, you learn. You're human, not perfect. You've been hurt, but you're alive. Think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, and to chase the things you love. Sometimes there is sadness in our journey, but there is also lots of beauty. We must keep putting one foot in front of the other even when we hurt, for we will never know what is waiting for us just around the bend.
If that ain't a summarization of, can you just see the next step? Then take that. What a joy it is to be alive. What a joy it is to suck down a little air, have a couple of gifts popped open in the morning, and be able to just walk about this life. It's just figure things out, to feel pain, to feel joy, to feel love, to feel peace, to feel chaos, to feel struggle. All this stuff. What a joy it is to just be able to be here, to just enjoy this time. We won the 400 trillion to 1 lottery. I don't think we sit back and think about that enough. We're just always on the daily monotonous grind and moving and shaking and making plays happen and crossing T's and dotting I's. And we just forget that, hey, man, we're not human doings. We're humming beings. And sometimes we just got to be for a minute. Got to remember how much we're blessed and be grateful for everything we got and every opportunity that we have just to be on this flat plane we call Earth.
Can't say it enough, man. The last couple of days, well, I would just say this last week, it's funny because God's really provided for me in a lot of different ways. And, a lot like Capp's story when he talked about the office that he walked into and it was all there in the pond and all that. I asked for, a good situation if I'm going to change locations and do all that. And then I look out and I couldn't ask for a better view. Truly, I'm pretty grateful. And I tell you, every day's tough right now because I'm working my ass off trying to make all this happen. I'm one person just doing a lot. And I told, I said earlier, I'm sore from head to toe right now. I'm so sore. But yesterday I was almost in pain yesterday at about 9:30, 10 from all the work I've done in the last couple of days. And I remember sitting there and instead of crying about it or whatever, I just remember saying, thank you, Lord. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to expend my energy this way, to feel this way at the end of the day. I know that I'm going to get good rest tonight. You're going to give me the energy and the power to succeed tomorrow the same way. Yesterday as I was eating my meals, I wasn't eating meals just because, I got to eat something. It was, I forgot to eat. I need to fuel my body. And so I would sit there and I would pray hey, thank you for this meal. Allow it to fuel my body for the next 4 hours as I just bust my ass. And that's life. If you do that every day and you ask God, hey, today's the day I don't feel like it or I don't want it. Today's the day I need the power. Thank you for my ability to wake up. Give me the strength I know I have to be able to get through my day. And at the end of the day, make sure you thank. I tell you, I'm last 2-3 nights in a row is just been, thank you, Lord. I don't know how I made it through today, but I did. I don't know how I had the courage to break that glass, but I did. I don't know how I took care of everything I did, but here we are. And I just got to tell you, life is not easy for any one of us. It's how you reflect at the end of the day. It's how you give thanks. It's the gratitude that you show that gives you the power to come up and do it again tomorrow.
150%. 150%, man. Shout out Swirl One. Reminder of the day. Your first clip, friends and family. Hope you got some good thoughts from that. Make you stop and think a little bit. Speaking of make you stop and think a little bit, your second clip of the day, my friends, features a man who you wouldn't typically think of being a very motivational man or a rather inspirational fella. You might have seen him on the YouTube way back in the day, absolutely busting skulls and peeling muffin caps back blue in some backyard in Dade County, Florida. But these days, he's no longer with us. He is the late, great Kimbo Slice.
Mm.
Yeah, that's right. Kimbo coming to Forge and Fuel. My man, I was always such a massive.
What a flash in the pan that guy was. It happened so fast.
Such a massive fan of him. I watched him from his YouTube days all the way to the Ultimate Fighter, to the UFC, to his struggles, and then him passing away. And, I watched this entire season, and I guess I was too young to really understand what was happening and I was just into fighting and all the stuff in between it. I was just trying to learn about fighting. And I vaguely remember this happening. But sitting here 29 years old and him talking about this and the battles that I've fought and how much I've struggled just to get to where I'm sitting right now, this slaps hard as shit. So Kimbo Slice joining us this morning from the Ultimate Fighter House to tell us about the real enemy.
When I decided to shave the beard, that's when I probably put Kimbo at rest. But would Kimbo ever be at rest? I always felt like I'll fight anybody because everybody was the enemy, and now I'm here without nothing, away from everyone, and I really took the time to find out, who the enemy was, and it's not that it was the enemy, it was the enemy. The enemy, the inner me.
Woo!
Sometimes you realize the true you is the enemy.
Bless that man. It's crazy because that is the biggest thing that everybody faces. Is they feel like the world's against them. They feel like, oh, my boss hates me. Oh, my wife hates me. Hey, I can't catch a break. And really what it comes down to, it's themselves telling the inner them that's what's happening. And they become the enemy of themselves. And it manifests through everything that's around them. Why does that person hate you? Well, because you treat them like shit when you walked up to them, because your attitude was on 1 when you walked up to that person. So you didn't get nothing back from them the way you expected. That's why I'm on 10 and 12 and 15 when I walk to people, and it's even funny. Just the other day, I was telling Capp, I walked this girl. I said, hey, Moja was right there. And I said, hi, started talking to her. And even I was on 15. She was on 0. And I couldn't help it. I had to try. And she did pop a smile. I was like, there's the smile. And then after she was smiling, she had this necklace on. I say, hey, what's that necklace? She goes, it's a chakra. And I'm like, you might want to charge that a little bit. You know what I mean? Just throwing that out there, because you know what? I have a feeling the enemy wasn't me. It's her inner me that was not speaking well to herself, that was not giving her power, that was not telling her great things. It was not feeding her brain the energy it took to keep this smile on her face. That's what a lot of people are dealing with today. So when you're out there, understand the enemy. No, buddy, it's not the people around you. It's literally what you're telling yourself, and that can make the inner me a prison.
Yeah. To see Kimbo get choked up talking about it and just say, man, I never realized that it was inside of me. All these things that I thought these people were my enemy, really, they were just a reflection of the inner me that I hated, that I didn't want to confirm that was a part of me. And I'm sure many of you, as I have, as I'm sure Swirl has, as I'm sure DZ has, have gone through this exact thing where you get to a moment like, fuck that asshole. And then you reflect on a little bit. Ooh, I do that exact thing. Oh, shit. Oh, no. So the good question to ask yourself is, what can I fix that would make me the guy that makes people want to buy a beer in the bar? That's simple. What can I fix that makes me be that guy? When I walk in the bar, I can't help but a dozen people go, oh, there's fucking Cole. Hey, I got this round. Get your ass over here, man. Are you that guy? Or when you get in the bar, there's Cole. Everybody shut the fuck up. Move back. Nobody, don't let that motherfucker know we're here, bro. Shit. Who are you? And if you fall on the ladder, maybe it's not that all those people are your enemy. Maybe it's that you just haven't figured out the enemy. And maybe your real enemy is rolling around between your own 2 ears. The Diamond Hand Media Group quote of the day: make sure your greatest enemy isn't between your own two ears. Say who's to know. Real enemy. Shout out Kimbo Slice. Your third clip of the day, my friends, features a man that I referenced last week. I believe it was last week when I watched this. Yeah, last week when I watched the Chris Williamson podcast that featured Kyle Forgard, or Forgard. I don't know exactly how to say his name. Whatever. Kyle, shout out to you, dude, if you ever see this. Kyle, if you don't know, you won't know, is the founder of the Nelk Boys. And if you don't know who the Nelk Boys are, you've been living under a fucking rock. But I highly suggest you check them out because they are some high-level, funny-ass, great humming beans. And there is a reason that they have gotten to where they are today. And it's not because they are industry plants or anything in between, because there was a point in time where I partied with these guys at Illinois State when they were bumming it, when they were sleeping house to house. I know the frat house that they slept in at Illinois State when they were trying to make it happen. I partied with these guys, not like on a name basis, but we were at the same fucking party and everybody was losing their mind because they were just popping off. And here this morning, Kyle is here to give us a little perspective on those times and tell us, don't be scared.
You only have one life. The scariest thing to me, more than like being broke for a little bit, is like living a life that you don't want to live. You know, I think a lot of people, the main thing is they're just scared to be broke for a little bit. Like, they're like, well, how am I going to pay my bills? What am I going to do? And it's like, I mean, we were broke for a long time. Like, we were struggling. Like, we would sleep in cars. We would sleep at fans' houses. Like, you got to go through that stage of being broke, having no money to kind of get to where you need to be, right?
It's hard to know that light when you've never seen the dark, man. I promise you. And I tell you, I've seen the lowest of lows. I tell you guys, I've been homeless, slept in a car. All that shit's happened to me. I really have. And I've been on top of the world. I've had the greatest jobs in the world and then had them taken from me and ended up homeless again. You know, literally it's happened. So it's definitely one of those things. I think that, you know, that's what dichotomy is. It is the bittersweet, is the sweet and sour of life. You have to understand, in order to understand how sweet things are, you have to understand how tart or how sour something can be, because that's only makes that dessert that much better. And it's funny because, you know, Moshe was talking about it the other day. It's just talking about brunch. When I go someplace and I see something, there is a barometer to the way I make a restaurant is, right? That's how I know if it's good or bad. Well, how do I know if that's good? Because I've had a really bad one time. So if I know the worst that could be, then I know this one's really good. And it's only because I experienced that. So if I didn't know what a good dish is, how would I know what a bad dish is? So you've got to have both of those perspectives inside your life in order to make sense of all the things that are happening in your success story.
Damn straight. I've always been a big fan of Kyle and Nelk, and then when I saw him on the Modern Wisdom podcast, that is a podcast to go and watch. He drops bombs all day long in regards to that, and you know, it's just so funny how you have to hit the lowest of the lows before you can see the heights. And I'm telling you what, the lows, I'm talking zeros in every bank account, credit ran all the way up through the max, questioning if your other investments are going to be fucking bled out so you can keep going forward, nothing in savings, no cash on hand, everything falling apart, but also everything feeling like it's coming together at the same time. It's like that quote that JK said a while back, you can only elevate by falling down. You can only go forward by moving backward. It's the weirdest thing in the world, but it's that whole unfucking yourself deal. Right? It's not about adding to yourself. It's not about what can you add, but what can you subtract? Be the man that when you walk in a bar, somebody wants to buy beer, right? Act as the version of yourself that has already attained those goals. You want to be a millionaire, live like a millionaire. You're a millionaire, they just ain't cut the check yet. And we're about to hit a fourth clip that is really going to put a little millionaire mindset in you one time for the one time. But it's so crazy. You can't know good unless you know evil. You can't know light unless you know dark. And I'll tell you, the one who is always present, whether it's negative or positive, is the big guy upstairs. So if you can just hang on to him, everything will be all right. And one final point on that too, when I was listening to Cat Williams, Theo Von asked him, he said, man, what's it like to be Cat Williams? Are you afraid? You speak all these truths, you say all this stuff, like are you scared to be doing this stuff? And Cat just sat back in the only way he could, and he just said, Theo, I'm not allowed to be afraid. I have been given and blessed this life by the Most High. I'm not allowed to be afraid. That is not something that's in my vocabulary or in my mind or anything at all. It tells me over and over in that book, do not be afraid. How many Christians read that and read it and hear it, and they still are afraid every single day? You're not allowed to be afraid. That is not in your DNA. That is not what you are supposed to do. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. You know, like the old oh brother, where art thou? Do not seek the treasure. Do not be afraid. He done RUNNOFT. Who's to say, who's to know, baby? Little "Oh brother, where art thou" reference for you. Come on, that's the Soggy Bottom Boys right there.
That's pretty good stuff.
I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days. He's seen trouble all his days. Who's to know? Maybe I was one of the Soggy Bottom Boys in a previous life. However, your fourth final clip. For the final clip of this second segment of this fine morning program, it's gonna go in a little bit different direction. Give you a little millionaire mindset here this morning, and give you some perspective from a legendary man who goes by the name of John Hope Bryant, with a little perspective on the truth about capital.
Give a homeless guy $1 million, he'll be broke in 6 months. With the best of intentions, because nothing changed here and here. The word capital comes from the Latin root word capitas. It means knowledge in the head. It doesn't even mean money.
Run that back, D's, for the chicken suckers.
I can give
in
a
the
homeless
back.
guy $1 million, he'll be broke in 6 months. With the best of intentions, because nothing changed here and here. The word capital comes from the Latin root word capitas. It means knowledge in the head. It doesn't even mean money.
Bruh. What does that mean? Does that mean that it's all in the mind? And if you can just figure out how to get on the right frequencies, energy, frequency, and vibration, this whole money thing, this whole success thing, all this stuff just works out? I don't know. Am I crazy, Swirl One?
Well, you know what they say when they say I want to raise capital? Just means I need to raise my knowledge. I need to know more. Why aren't we doing that? People don't think about it that way. I promise you, and I say this all the time, it's just like we were talking about. You got to be broke to understand what a dollar's worth. That's why if you give a homeless guy $1 million, he's going to think, oh, man, I do all this. But they'll go and they'll spend $400,000 on a house, and then all of a sudden realize, oh, my gosh, I did this, I did that. And then they won't have any money to pay for the property tax. They won't have any money to pay for the bills, but they think they did it. No, it's not what it's about at all. That's why I always say it's important to understand that $8 you have every single day doesn't need to go to that coffee if you can get away with it. Some days, yes, there's days you're going to have coffee. Well, you guys saw me doing it, but there was a reason for that. It's not like, oh man, you know what? I just feel like it today, so I'm going to go spend $30 on Grubhub. That's not at all how it is. Sometimes you are buying your time back, and that $30 is priceless. Are you kidding me? It's a small amount to pay so I can gain an hour of my time back. And sometimes that $8, ooh, that's a very expensive price to pay so that I could get something that, you know, I can make for 20 cents.
Think about it over the course of a month. 8 times 5, $40 times 4. I mean, $160 on coffee alone, on just one singular cup of coffee.
Cell phone payment.
Bruh. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do with $160. I mean, who's to say, who's to know? Man, the perspective just raised my knowledge. I need to raise capital. The only way you raise capital is with more knowledge. And the only way you gain more knowledge is by trying more things, going through more obstacles, turning them into opportunities, losses into lessons, trials into triumphs, failures into brand new chances to flourish. Maybe it's not about the money at all, but it's about you. It's about the thing that's making the money, the thing that's going towards the money. And if you ain't got the inner me and you're still battling the enemy, maybe you're not going to be able to figure these things out. It's wild how these all build upon themselves. It's wild how it's all unfolding in my life right now. It's kind of fucking wild. Who's to say? Who's to know? I'm just living the path. And if you fucking just watch along, you'll see how it's possible for your life as well. But there you have it, my friends. Your second segment of this fine morning show. The reminder of the day, the real enemy from Kimbo Slice. Don't be scared. Kyle Forgard. And the truth about capital from John Hope Bryant. Hope you enjoyed those. Hope you got some more notes. I got me 2 pages today. Goodness gracious. I don't usually get all this action. So, man, y'all on the other side of the screen probably running out of notebook pages by now, for crying out loud. You might have ran out of ink in your pen. I mean, I got red and black going on today. I got underlines. I got all types of shit going on this page over here today. I'll tell you what. So, my friends, maybe you've had a trigger or two tripped. Maybe you've got something burning on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul. Maybe some more perspective, maybe some knowledge, maybe even a question or two that relates to the topics at hand, or maybe a total topic out in left field that you just want our perspective on. If that is the case, well, now is your opportunity to drop it live in prime time over there in the chat. Whether you're on YouTube, Rumble, or X, you can drop it right over there. And after this brief transition, we'll slide up on the screen and begin to pop them up below us. Nah, mean. As we get into your third and final segment of the day, it is time for your Answers from the Anvil. Wow. Oh, shit, we're back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's time for your third and final segment of the day here on episode 661 of Forge and Fuel, baby. And if you haven't checked your calendars, it's February the 4th, 2025. Terrific Tuesday all day long. And we hope you've been coming alive. It's time to see what you've been thinking. What triggers have been tripped? What you got burning on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul via the live chat. DEEZYY, shift us up on the screen, my guy. Who we got out there this morning? What high-level humming beings are out there in the chat? Oh, there she is. Roll out the red carpet. The queen's in the building. Grammy P. Shout out, GP. Great morning, family. Blessings to all. Blessings right back to you, GP. We appreciate you. Thanks for being in the chat, as always. Albright's Fur Farm, the legendary Jared and Jarrett over there at Albright's Fur Farm, and Tico and Charlie, as you see there live in prime time. Tico on the left, Charlie on the right, and all the amazing other furry beings at the Fur Farm. Great morning, everyone. Great morning to you, Mr. Albright. I'm feeling rather aggressive, or shall we say sexy today. Who's to say, who's to know? Shout out to you. Appreciate the perspective, guy. Delta 24, Anthony. Great morning, Anthony. GP in the house. First one in the chat. Look at her. Let's go. We ready. Shout out to you, Anthony. Appreciate you being in the chat and all your support, all your love of the Diamond Hand fam. YouTheBomb.com. Nick's Travel Vlogs, the man, the myth, the legend. I ain't seen him in a chat in a minute. How you nerd? Shout out, Nicky boy. Hope you're doing good, brother. Hope you've been living. Hope you've been crushing the new job, everything you got going on right now, man. Proud of you. Keep killing the game. Appreciate you being live in the chat. Mrs. Metal, one half of the Metal Crazies. Great morning, fam. Happy Tuesday. Today's reminder is to grow through what you go through. Ooh. Sometimes all you need is gentle reminders to shift your perspective from woe is me to God use me. Ooh. Here I am. Send me. Great perspective, Mrs. Metal. Nothing else more I need to say on top of that. That's some good stuff right there. Who else we got out there, D's? Angel SD, the legend, OG of the OGs, Mr. Peguero live in the building. Great morning, FNF crew. Great morning to you, Mr. SD. Hope you're having a solid start to the day. Another West Coast connection, Mr. Aswomala. Great morning, everyone. Have a spectacular Tuesday, Diamond Hand fam. Right back at you, Mr. Aswomada. We appreciate the hell out of you, good sir. Appreciate you being live in the chat, as always. Kim Jones, Mama Capp, live on the Rumble. Nice view, Swirl. Welcome to your new home. Damn straight. Pretty nice digs over there. I do have to say so myself. Who's to say? Who's to know? Brian Live Dog Livingston, the Live Doggy Dog himself, GM Diamond Handers. Great morning, Live Dog. Great to see you as always. Hope you're having a solid start to the day up there in New Jersey. Appreciate the dog and all the beautiful Livingston family. Nick's Travel Vlogs. This live stream always is amazing. Hey, appreciate your kind words, my man. We've been getting some trolls lately, so anytime we get a nice little, hey, appreciate the hell out of you, anything, we certainly appreciate that, man. And honestly, more than anything you can say and any love you can throw our way is just the loyalty. And you got it, Nick, and so many of others of you do as well. Just the loyalty to the show, to each other. I see you guys out on the timeline after the show in the Diamond Hand fam. You guys are thebomb.com, man. I've said it over and over again. Fuck your love. Give me your loyalty. And there are so many of you that are just real loyal to what we're doing. So shout out to all of you, especially Nick's Travel Vlogs. We appreciate the hell out of you, buddy guy. JK Big Time, our nation's capital connection. GM, everyone, crush the day. Shout out to you, Mr. Big Time. We appreciate the reminder. We will be crushing over here, baby. What else we got out there, D's? Shane Harper, Motion. Saw that guy. That car was no match for Swirl and Motion Moving Company. LOL. Shut up, Motion. We appreciate you, guy. Definitely not. Shout out. Great brunch. Great talks. Great stuff. In progress, the man, the myth.
Oh, it was hammer time.
It's hammer time. It's hammer time. Hammer time. Who's say? Who's no? Shout out in progress. We appreciate you, big fella, the legendary Mr. Fleming. Shout out to you, good sir. Mama Cap.eth. There she is. New break glass story to remember a new perspective on how to build this super soldier gal. I can figure this out. That's right. You can, Mama Cap. Looking forward to the next phase of everything you got going on. Who's to say? Who's to know? Our friends over at Radio Free Hub City Live. Radio Free Hub City Live. Shout out to legendary Ken Buckler and the beautiful BB. Analysis paralysis is a real thing. One of my early mistakes with RFHC was offering 5 different paid subscription plans. Reduced it to 2 paid, 1 free, and subscriptions skyrocketed. Absolutely. That's like the shoe salesman who, what was the, I can't remember the whole premise of the story, but it was offered 2. And he said anytime a woman would come into his store and look at shoes, she'd pick out the 2, right? And then she'd say, "Ooh, I want to see those as well." He would say, "Then which one do you want to put back?" So there would always be 2 options. They couldn't get confused. It was either yes or no, A or B. There was no A, B, or C and get muddied up, because what he found is when there was 3 or more options, they didn't buy it all. And when there was only 2 options, 99% of the time they ended up making a purchase decision. So who's to say, who's to know? Just some thoughts right there. Shout out our friends over at Radio Free Hub City. Mr. Ken Buckler. Shout out to you, good sir. Albright's Faux Farm. Jared Albright with a little perspective for you. Still on this mantra. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this experience, only good will come, and I am safe. I'm glad you enjoyed that one. That was a good one. That was one of the days when you weren't here, Swirl One. That was Louise Hay. That was one of Louise Hay's mantras that we brought on there. That's a good one right there. I'm glad that stuck with you, Mr. Albright. Shout out to you, good sir. Mrs. Metal, another little bit of perspective. Our little man voice is often our greatest enemy. Take the time for reflection every day to make sure your response is correct for the situations that you are facing. You can respond or react. The choice is yours. Shout out, Mrs. Metal. Appreciate you. Who else we got out there, D's? Our girl Slugbug, live from St. Louis. I'm so happy I have y'all to remind me I have the power to unfuck things still to some degree. It just takes time, patience, and persistence. Absolutely. It ain't about adding, it's about subtracting. And if you just keep doing that, you realize you've added a whole new life to yourself right here. Hot damn. Shout out, Slugbug. We appreciate you, young lady. Appreciate you and the fam. G. Lou, Mr. G. Lou, and Mrs. G. Lou. It's a mindset thing, bro. 12 laws of the universe, Mrs. G. Lou. Shout out to the both of you. We appreciate the hell out of you. Thanks for always being live in prime time. We got to get up here on a call pretty soon. Who's to say, who's to know? Got some things rolling through the old brain. Shout out Mr. G-Lou. Shout out Ted Logan, 1010. Shout out the man, the myth, the legend. Had a couple good calls with him yesterday. Who's say, who's to know? Another amazing video, vibe-boosting episode. Shout out to you, Mr. Ted Logan. We appreciate your kind words. Thanks for all the support of this program and this brand. We appreciate the hell out of you, good sir. Anybody else out there, D's? That's everybody? All right. Shout out to all you beautiful humming beings, tapped in, tuned in, locked in, live in prime time. Appreciate you getting in the chat, helping this third and final segment go and flow for the day. Appreciate all your kind words. Appreciate the perspective. But now it's time to go share these vibes with the world. To go on and get out in the streets and go hit them with that heat. When they're just dragging their knuckles, all frowns around, you bursting, beaming, kicking those doors straight down. Shining so bright they don't know what time of day it is when you come around. Oh, shit! That was like a poem, and I'm a poet. Now you really know it. So it must mean that it's time to close out this show for the day. Give you some reminders, some final vibes to part with, and then turn the old open sign to close. The only way we know how to do that is by beginning by checking back in with the legendary man himself, the co-host with the Mo-Host, DJ Swirl One. Any final thoughts, reminders, closing comments, perspectives, questions, anything in between for episode 661?
Man, it feels great to be back. I'm almost in a regular motion again. Gonna get back to whatever routine I have or about to learn here in the next couple of days. So thank you for all your patience. Man, we might have a DJ party. Maybe not this weekend, but next weekend I got a mess down there. So we'll get to it soon. However, man, hope you got something great from this. Hope your pins were on fire and putting some knowledge down, maybe some capital down, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. I appreciate everybody here showing up. Please share the show. Thank you, DZ, for rocking all the great sound effects, making us sound great, look great, and all those amazing things. I'm going to get back to it today. I said I was going to work until 8 tonight. So that tells me I got 12 hours to get all the things I got to get done today. So we'll see how far we can do. What are you going to do with your 12 hours today? Hopefully you've got a plan. Don't let everybody else dictate how you spend your time. Make that time work for you.
Shout out.
Another one.
Appreciate the hell out of you, buddy guy. Thanks for the vibes, the insights, the knowledge all morning long, and a great story to kick us off. Break glass in case of emergency. Have a terrific rest of your Tuesday, because you, sir, deserve it. As for you, humming beans, on the other side of the screen, you deserve a terrific Tuesday as well. But not before we remind you of a few things. No shows or anything to tune into tonight, so you got a free, wide open evening to do a bunch of research, dive down rabbit holes, do whatever the hell you want to do. But at least use this evening to, maybe build yourself a little bit, not take away from what you've already added to. Who's to say, who's to know, as we've been talking about. Maybe not a whole Netflix watch a night, maybe a little podcast and a little research, or maybe even a little book. I don't know. Follow up on that topic you were thinking about at the beginning of the week or end of last week and you still haven't got to it again. Hey, well, now you can get to it tonight. And if you're looking for somewhere to hang out with some humming beans, get some insights, ask some questions, start your personal and professional growth journey today and become better mentally, physically, and financially, baby. Well, then you might want to join us in the Gateway. And the Gateway is our all-in-one community resource and platform that you can join for 7 days for completely free to check out if the Diamond Hand fam is for you, baby. So stop on by, see the benefits, see the perks, start your journey today, and maybe you too can become a break glass in case of emergency motherfucker. If you're looking for the links for the old Gateway, maybe Mine and Shine apparel so you can rock a little Diamond Hand merch as you go on about this. You won't be able to find that one. That is an exclusive J&J weekend getaway. Oh, also got some things to talk to you about that, DJ Swirl One. Jeepers. Wow, we got some things to cover here. Who's to say, who's to know, my friends? But if you're looking for those links, you can find them all down in this episode's description. And while you're laughing, looking at those links, maybe you could grab your hammers and smash that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, maybe crush a comment bubble and leave a little comment. Maybe hit a lick on a like and maybe help that out. Go pump it out a little bit one time for the one time. Maybe hit a repost or even a quote post and let the people know why you tuned in live in prime time on your timeline. Maybe share this out. Don't be a host. Share the show. Leave us a rating. Give us a follow somewhere else. Turn on a notification bell. In all honesty, what I'm trying to tell you right now is just smash the shit out of whatever buttons you currently see on your screen, because it only helps us continue to grow and flow and make this show and all the shows that fall under the Diamond Hand Media Group umbrella bigger and better for each and every one of you. But my friends, that's all we got for you here today. Episode 661 is officially a wrap. Paper or plastic, put a bow on that Shumama Beach, baby. Nothing else to remind you or get you up to date on outside of the OG3 reminders. Number 1, even a 2-year-old can make an excuse.
What?
Number 2, even a dead fish can go with the flow.
What?
And number 3, being at this here show is a member of the Diamond Hand Media Group, I ask you keep in mind that DHMG, we don't only HOLD, we hold each other up. And right now is one hell of a time to flex those diamond hands. Shout out to each and every one of you flexing those diamond hands on a day in and day out, night in and night out basis. We appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for spending some time with us here this morning. Invest in your most valuable asset in every single morning and day and night that you choose to do so. We'll continue to pay back that investment to you by showing up each and every day on the consistent, persistent pursuit of our passions and being right by your side while you pursue yours, giving you a little high-quality ROI, baby. But for now, my friends, it's time to bid thee adieu. We thank you for being the change, being the difference, being the 1%, setting the precedent that we want to see not only on YouTube, on Rumble, or on X, but in this entire wide world. We appreciate you for being super soldiers. And to you OGs, thanks for being the Diamond Hand fam. We'll catch y'all on the flip side somewhere this afternoon, tonight, or anywhere around the bend. Maybe in a group chat, the Gateway, a Discord, a VC, or somewhere in between, baby. But for now, we officially bid thee adieu, and we say unto you, peace and love.